Whew. If you tuned in over the weekend, you saw our exciting live stream pacing around and swearing in front of children and some unprecedented ending to the Indy 500 and not as exciting Monaco minus a few rainstorms. And we're going to recap that. We're going to talk a little Chase Elliott as well and how we're both sick and tired of our GT3 iRacing season. This is FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Eric Richardson.
And I'm Taka Turman.
He's here. We haven't seen you in a while. You were globetrotting for a while. We didn't really, I should have told you, I didn't realize, I'm not familiar with Japan. I'm not familiar with, where you were going. And I realized you were right next to Suzuka. Like we should have sent you out there with a camera and just go to Suzuka.
But yeah, I was an hour away by the train and should have visited. I totally forgot about it too.
Then Twin Ring Montegi, they keep saying that the oval is destroyed. It was destroyed in the Great Japan, I think typhoon of 2011 or whatever that was, and but Takuma Sato did a bit for Honda where he drove on the track a few years ago. So it's is it really in that bad a shape? Because they claim it's destroyed. I don't think they would be driving a IndyCar full speed on a destroyed oval, because that would be a death wish for Takuma Sato, and he is still definitely with us. Maybe we'll see that come back someday.
Yeah, it's a fun track.
It is. Someone just called it, referred to it as Flat Darlington. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Similar shape.
But real quick, we want to we got a big milestone here on the show. So this is going to be episode 46, I believe. 46? Yeah, 46. Yeah. We started this a year ago, kind of hyping our Wednesday Night Dash League. It's kind of evolved into a racing discussion, some off topics, some Malort consumption, some drinking straight from Malort bottles, and some other things that we're not proud of. But we are proud of the fact that on the night we recorded this episode, it was the 1-year anniversary of the release of our first show.
Yep.
And I'm just to pull it up. Here's our analytics for the year. 2,555 plays, averaging 221 plays per episode. Our regular audience size is currently 85 people. And when we started this, the fact that there's more than 2 people listening to it outside of Eric and Taka and myself, that was my goal. Let's get this to 2 people downloading this thing. And then one day, this thing just blew up on us, and I'm we've got episodes where we're listening into the hundreds. We had an episode a couple weeks ago, and I think part of it was because we were talking about our Ross Chastain giveaway, frracingonline.com/contest. Sign up before June 28th.
Chastain or Stenhouse?
Yeah, Stenhouse. Sorry, I've got Chastain on the mind, which we'll talk about later here. Stenhouse giveaway. We're not giving this away. I'm keeping this. This is awesome. We'll talk about that in a bit. 653 plays on that episode. 653 people listened to us. One episode. So thank you to all who've tuned in to our episodes so far.
Yes.
That's just the podcast. That's not even counting people who's tuned in on Twitch and watched the replays on YouTube, or tuned into, not even counting Race Day Live, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But we want to say thank you. We don't understand why you're listening, but thank you anyway.
Hey, we'll keep bringing it. Keep on listening. Keep sharing our ideas.
So our first episode got a whopping 14 plays. So going from 14 to 653 in a year for an episode,
take it.
I'd say that's pretty good. So our 2,500 plays in 1 year. Not too bad. A lot of those have come this year. Like it really started taking off in early February. Think we know why, but we're not going to say because I don't want to speculate. I don't want to jinx myself. But we want another 5,000 listens. Plus, from this point on, we want to come back and say we want to be at 7,500 at this point next year. So, and get close to episode 100 in 2 years. So that's some pretty lofty goals, but we're going to keep bringing it. And thank you. So, do you want to talk Monaco next, or do you want to go right to the 500?
Oh, Monaco was snooze fest, so we'll go there. There's only one interesting thing on that race.
I mean, it rained, and Alonso took mediums, and then it started raining like 5 minutes later, and then he had to stop again.
There were cars that already took the intermediates.
Yeah, some even went straight to the. A couple of them took the straight wet tires too, I think.
Maybe the ones at the back.
Yeah, I think like two cars in the back took them. But Logan Sargent broke a record, I think, for the most times being passed in Monaco in recent years. That yeah, not a good record to have. He's not having a great season. So
no, it's been a struggle.
Yeah. Max wins.
I like how Fernando pits twice and still is in second place.
By a decent amount,
a lot.
too. And the thing is, if he wouldn't have had to take that extra pit stop,
he could have challenged.
He would have challenged. He might have finished within 3 or 4 seconds of Max had he rolled the dice, or his team rolled the dice. I don't think that was his call. From what I understand.
Well, and how about the driver of the day?
Esteban Ocon. Yeah, is the third podium in Formula One, I think.
Yeah, it's great to see somebody else on the podium.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since we've seen Alpine on the podium, so good for them.
Well, and we did get to see the floors of the Red Bull and Mercedes.
And the Mercedes, yeah.
That's Monaco is such a small track; they have to crane the cars out.
And only in Formula One would anyone care what the floor of a car looks like.
Then it was funny seeing all the memes. Adrian Newey's like, "No, stop it."
I mean, you pick up these good old stock cars, and this diecast is completely flat on the bottom, and it's not completely flat, mostly flat on the bottom. That's not too far from the truth, but yeah, a lot of interest in the floor. So. Our big weekend, our Indy 500 stream, we streamed 1 minute short of 4 hours for that event.
First time I'd seen 3 red flags in one 500.
Yeah, and real quick before the start of it, Jewel with her rendition of the national anthem. Jewel's a wonderful singer. Your dad had a hot take on Jewel's national anthem.
After the previous song, anything was better, but come on, Indy. We have a very good streak of not great national anthem singers.
I mean, I always think, anytime I think of the anthem at that, I think of Steven Tyler.
Well, he even asked me if he was busy.
Yeah, Steven Tyler. Do you see like Mary Holman George standing behind him, and Tony George standing there just looking absolutely mortified. And remember, and the home of the Indianapolis 500.
Hey, at least there's one thing we know that is going to be solid, and that's back home again in Indiana.
Yes, indeed. They've transitioned nicely from Jim Neighbors to Jim Cornelison. I guess the key is you got to have a guy named Jim sing it. Apparently, I mean we do have the Purdue marching band is the consistent there, so good. Again, they ran a really good Purdue commercial during the race.
Purdue there,
yeah,
nice Purdue shirt.
They ran a great commercial for Purdue during the race, and I had to stand up and show my respect to the commercial. So that was awesome to see. But first half of the race, pretty routine. We're like, are we gonna make it through this race without a caution? And then there goes Sting Ray Robb.
Yeah, that was a crazy move on that one.
Yeah, he didn't close the door. He should have closed the door.
Yep.
He gave Graham just enough room to get by, and Graham, oof. We talked about it last week. Up, down, he's in for Stephen Wilson, then his car won't fire. And then they have to pull him off the track. And then they have to change a battery. Then they can't get the side panel off. Then they get him back on the track. Then they fire him, and then he's on his way, and he starts the race 2 laps down. He got a lap back, and he made it to the end, I think, didn't he? I mean,
he got caught up in that accident on the front stretch. That was the second red flag.
That's right. But he kept going though, didn't he?
I don't think he was able to.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's that last like 45 minutes is just a huge blur now. I'm gonna have to like go back and watch the last like 30 laps once again. Terrifying moment though, when Kyle Kirkwood gets clipped.
Yeah, Felix Rosenquist hit the wall, came down. I think he tried to save it, but then he caught the apron approaching 2 and slid back up.
Caught Kirkwood.
Tino Ferrucci just missed it.
And 14 on the podium at Indianapolis. How about that? It's been, I think 2000 was the last time that the 14 finished that high. But yeah, with Kirkwood, his tire broke completely loose and flew over the catch fence, and didn't realize it live, but then you pointed it out that the tire went over the wall, and you're just thinking, oh my God.
Caught that immediately from the live TV.
I was too busy watching Kirkwood with his car turned sideways with the cockpit riding the wall, and just like, oh my God, I think the aero screen saved him. And
I know that the tire ended up on a car. I think it was a Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, it was a Chevy Cruze. Fortunately, it missed the stand, because if it would have landed in the stands, it would have killed people, probably multiple people.
On TV, it looked like it was very close to the stands, but if you've been at the track, there's a significant gap between the hotel there and the end of the grandstands.
Yep, and
so
it was never in any danger, fortunately. My mom actually told me that they were at the race the one year, and a tire went over the wall and actually killed a spectator, and they were right down the row and saw it happen. So it's like, that is terrifying. Like,
well, and they have tethers on those tires.
Yeah, it just snapped the tether, cut right through it.
So luckily, the worst, a banged up car, okay, we'll take that. But not what you want to see.
No.
I guess a spectator did get injured with debris from the crash. I did see that.
Oof.
I haven't heard anything else.
But that was terrifying. Then it just seemed like we couldn't finish the race, which was kind of a common theme between Indy and Charlotte this weekend. We got a red flag, and then we were pretty heated towards the end of what are they doing. You know, we had the crash with Ed Carpenter, and drawing a blank who else was in it.
That should have been, I think Lundgaard was in that, Carpenter, maybe Peterson.
Might have been. Yeah, because Pato Awards was the one before that.
And that collected Canapino, Pagano.
Canapino. Yeah, Canapino's car, his brakes line got cut, and you just see him just kind of rolling down the track and just boom, plows right into the back of Pato there. He was fuming. It'll be interesting this weekend in Detroit to see what happens, because Sting Ray Robb is upset at Graham. Wouldn't call him out though. Wouldn't call him out. He's like, well, I need to watch I know who did it, but I'm not going to say his name. Like, say the name, man.
Yeah,
Say
Ward
it.
was not happy with Ericsson.
No, he wasn't.
Like, very not happy.
No, he was fuming. Mr. P in the car 3 times a year. But then we got pretty animated after the third red flag. They kept going and we're like, why aren't you flagging this? Like, and then they red flagged it with 2 to go. And it's just like, why would you do that? Like, you're going to come out there and you're going to bring them around and it's over. Like, you're just going to red flag the race to just run a caution at the end after the track gets cleaned up. That makes just no sense at all. I mean, run them through the pit. Let's just end this thing. And then they come out and say, we're going to go and we're going to take you out of the pit. Lap 199. You're going to come around. Pace car is going to pit. You're going to run lap 200 under green. You're not going to have a full lap. You're going to get your, 3/4, whatever. And off they went.
I was not a fan of that. I'd like to see that it finished under green.
They could have avoided that by red flagging it earlier. I don't know why they waited so long.
Is the caution flew on what, 5 to go?
5 to go. Yeah, or 4 or 5 to go. Yeah.
And then they kept going. Then when they finally red flag and bring him in, they cross with 2 to go.
And it's just like, why?
They should have red flagged it immediately, because then they would have had the 2 warm-up laps and then
go
1 lap. And my biggest part on it, it's not the same pattern that we used on the previous cautions.
Yeah, it looks like race control was just indecisive on if they were going to red flag this or not. And then when they finally decided to red flag it, they did. And I don't want to hear any conspiracy. Roger Penske did that to give his guy a shot to win. Just
there was a lot of that going too.
Shut up! No, he didn't. Raj was sitting up on his balcony, just kind of sitting there chilling. He had no radio on his head. He had no communication with anybody down there. He was just taking it in. And, we assume that's what, no, shut up. No, that's not what, that's not what happened. It was I mean, if race control is guilty of anything, it's them being guilty of waiting too long.
What about the other thing that made some people upset? With how Newgarden took it all the way to the pit road.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't mind it.
It's legal.
It's legal.
It's legal, and he used every inch of track because he knew he had to be aggressive, which I'm always in favor of. I did see one thing somewhere, an interesting point was made about how it could have been looked at. What if they wrecked and then went sliding down pit road or something like that? How would that move have then been taken? Because there's a reason pit road is separated by that wall.
It's a good question.
I did see that point get made. It's like, what if he did lose it coming back in? Because you don't have water barrels on the edge of that pit road wall.
Yep. We've seen our, J.R. Hildebrand wreck in turn 4, but that would have been even worse. I mean, Hildebrand was at least on the outside wall after he crushed turn 4, but
you don't want somebody sliding 200 plus miles an hour through pit road.
It is what it is at this point, and I don't. It was asterisks over the win. Like, shut up. He won.
He won.
No, he won. I don't agree with how they ended that. I think that
needs to be looked at.
I think they screwed that up. They could have avoided that by stopping him earlier. 1 and 2. it was super dangerous what they did. By those cars were sitting a good 10 minutes?
Easy.
Good 10 minutes. Those tires are worn. They cooled down. They had 3/4 of a lap to warm them up, and then they're going 220 miles an hour.
They're lucky there
for one
wasn't a
lap.
big pile up.
For one lap. And it's the last lap. People are already going to be pretty reckless on that last lap. They're going to be not reckless, maybe more aggressive on that last lap than they otherwise would be if it would have been earlier in the race. They had no time to warm those tires. We are extremely lucky that we didn't have a big incident or somebody get hurt or something worse on that. And it just fortunately worked out.
And they need to get standardized. Just because there were 2 laps to go, what is the process? Caution inside of 3 to go? No. Because you have to come back around.
The thing is, too, someone was looking through the Indy rule book, which I'm like, where did you find that? I'm guessing it's on some media page, but someone pointed out you cannot question or appeal any decisions for yellow or red flags. So it's like that shut the door on that or protest or anything to that extent. But all that discussion, good for Joseph Newgarden. I've said it before. He's done everything in this sport except win the Indy 500, and good for him. He's a good guy, very enjoyable personality. Loved his celebration. And I called it on the live stream. I said that he thought about that. He has thought about that for a long time, that he was going to do that. That was not an impromptu celebration. That was totally planned. He was going to hop through that fence and go up into the stands.
Yeah,
and he admitted it. He said, I've been thinking about that for a really long time, that if I ever win this race, I'm going into the stands to celebrate. And good for him. I was really happy for him. The circumstances, not so much, but I'm really happy to see him win and kind of get that off his back. Now he's a multi-time champion of the series and an Indy 500 winner.
Yeah, he had a great run. Struggled through qualifying, but they get it done on race day.
It's the Penske team, man. Team Penske.
19 Indy 500 titles now.
On the topic of Penske, ready to transition, we head down to Charlotte, and we would shed to Charlotte, but it's probably raining again and again and again. That was so weird, that schedule this weekend. You got the ARCA race in just fine. Frankie Muniz finished 6th. He's currently sitting 2 points off of the series lead right now. And I said he hasn't led any laps. He hasn't won any races, but he is finishing races. He has the most laps completed of any driver in that series this year. And it's paying off for him. He's 2 points back of the lead, which is awesome.
Clear, that's actor
Frankie
Muniz.
Well, I mean, it's not like he just quit acting and jumped into a car. He has racing experience, and
yes,
and I don't think he's really seen any criticism. I just a bunch of Malcolm in the Middle puns, sure, but it's like he went into ARCA. Anybody with a budget can go into ARCA. It's not like he forced his way into the Cup Series right away or Xfinity Series or one of those hires. He's starting at ARCA. He's starting at the near bottom of the national series.
Yeah, I just think it's cool. Somebody taking that career path, going from the screen to the racetrack. That's awesome.
The great thing too is this is not a publicity stunt. You can clearly tell, one, he loves what he's doing, and two, he takes it very seriously. He is a student of the sport. And he's finishing top 10, 6th. He was 10th in Daytona or something like that. And
he's got some solid runs.
He's doing really, really well. I'm really, really happy for him that this is working out. So they got the ARCA race in. They got the truck race in just fine. And then the skies open up on Saturday. And the qualifying for the Cup Series is canceled. The Xfinity Series is canceled. We move on to Sunday. Canceled yet again, which I'm fine with. I was exhausted after that 500.
I would have liked it on Sunday because then I could have actually watched it. I wasn't able to on Monday.
I didn't get to see the whole race. I got a decent amount of it, but Monday comes around. They start the Xfinity race. Then the Xfinity race goes into a rain delay. They get like 30 laps in out of like 200. Then they got a rain delay again. And then they decide we're going to pull the Xfinity cars off the track and park them and wait this out. We're going to start the Cup race at noon like we planned. We're going to run the 600. And then we're going to come back and run the last 170 laps of the Xfinity race after the Cup race is over. And some people stuck it out to the end of the Xfinity race, which I was a little shocked about. I mean, not many, but there were some people. You could hear it. Justin Allgaier comes in and wins that race, and they're questioning, "Is like, is he gonna have enough fuel? Is he gonna have enough fuel?" And you see everybody pitting, and Austin Hill pit with like 15 to go and was charging at him and hoping for them to run out of fuel, and just didn't happen. So good win for Junior Motorsports. And back to the Penske topic. Ryan Blaney snaps his winless streak.
They had a good weekend.
Good weekend for Roger Penske, the captain.
Actually, another Penske side note, Austin Cindric wants to run the 500 at some point.
I mean, it's not like he hasn't been around 500. I mean, his dad is, I think, Newgarden's strategist.
Yep.
He's,
Cindric.
Tim Cindric is, I think he's actually the president of Penske Motorsports now.
So I did see that note too.
I mean, that's cool. Kyle Larson was there. Looks like he got to take in more of the race than he thought he was going to. He's going to be running the 500 next year.
He was on Tony Kanaan's pit box.
Yeah, because he's going to be driving for Arrow McLaren next year at the race.
Kind of seeing how everything works, and just hearing the communications, as he has yet to actually step foot in the car on a track.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen so far is I think they did a seat fitting for him.
Yes.
And that's been it.
That's his experience in an IndyCar so far. So I did see earlier today, Chase Briscoe just got a hefty fine.
Yes, he did.
For counterfeit parts.
That I didn't see.
It was for counterfeit parts, and he was not competitive. 6-race suspension for a crew chief, $250,000 fine, and 120 driver points.
He's building himself a Ford Mustang made in China.
Must have had the wrong emblem on the front or something.
Ford is spelled F-U-R-D, and the oval is actually green on his. We should have known, and it was actually a Colt, not a Mustang on the logo. In fact, it might have been an Indianapolis Colts logo on the front of his car, but yeah,
that's not the big topic.
No, it is not the big topic. Mr. Hamlin always seems to find himself in the middle of controversy,
of everything,
and it's always someone else's fault. And
I feel like there's a common denominator appearing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, NASCAR agrees with him this time. But
yeah, Chase Elliott suspended for a race for right hooking Hamlin. Just talking about Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and the Bubba Wallace incident last year at Vegas in the fall race, hooking in, doing the same move.
Now, I have an issue with this comparison. Hamlin and Elliott were running basically door to door through this incident.
And Elliott was literally up against the wall.
Bubba Wallace was 3 or 4 lanes up and cut across the track.
Oh yeah, it was so blatantly obvious.
The hit locations may be the same, but these are not similar incidents. And I hate that everybody is, well, we have precedent last year. No,
That was
he cut across the track
Yeah, that
to
was
hit somebody. Now, Hamlin put out the SMT data.
Yep,
That shows
saw that.
nothing got broken. It was a left turn of the steering wheel. I'm not going to deny that.
It was after the contact, though, that the initial contact where the steering wheel was left.
But okay, Elliott gets suspended for a race. But there's some things I think you got to play this out. I think you got to park Hamlin too,
or at least fine him.
Because this is not the first time that he's run people into a wall.
He did it to Chastain at Pocono last year.
Ross Chastain last year, he did the exact same thing.
He gave him no room at all. That Chastain basically ran into the wall. I mean, he was doing the same move on Elliott, and I know he's done that other times too. I mean, it's his move.
I wish you could, maybe you could simulator this out, but as they're coming off, you see, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Hamlin was actually going to be running up into that second lane, which if he ran it, that again is going to drive that right front nose of Elliott's into the wall, or he's going to have to brake and back out.
And then you're going to have Brad Keselowski run into the back of him, which I think he did anyway. So it's just, he was in no man's land. And another point I've seen that I agree with coming out of, and especially like you don't realize it as much on TV, but in iRacing, coming out of turn 4 in Charlotte is really awkward. And
you come out, there's the bump right there.
There's the bump, and there's the part of the red
dog leg.
Yeah, and you got the red paint. There's like a Toyota logo on the grass on the dog leg, or you come out and it's just like, if you're not careful, you're gonna go over that grass and you're probably gonna lose it going over that grass.
Yeah,
in the restart zone.
I feel like Hamlin's nose was pointed more towards the outside, comparing other cars taking that line on the inside.
I mean, if Elliott doesn't hook him,
Elliott's in the wall no matter what.
He's in the wall no matter what. And then now all of a sudden we're going to be looking at Denny Hamlin only for this. And like, Hamlin put him into the wall. But hey, you know what? Whatever.
I think it's unfortunate, but that's where I can see Elliott's point of view. Like, no, I didn't wreck him. He hit him. He knew he was going to hit him, but I'm trying to make the dog leg.
It was super tight up there. Like, I don't know what they were expecting him to do.
Oh, no, Hamlin put him in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he'll be sitting out.
This week. Yes. Corey LaJoie will be filling in.
That's, you know what? That's awesome. That part is awesome.
Just real quick here, let's not forget that Hamlin admitted after a race earlier this year of intentionally wrecking Ross Chastain. That, well, I'm not making it, so I'm taking him out too. And I think he got fined for that, didn't he?
He did, yes. On the note of Chastain, real quick, actually, I forgot to, I'm drinking again, Montucky Cold Snack. And it literally says the official, unofficial beer of Montana. So that's my beer of the night. Good to be drinking again. After being ill. On the note of Chastain, real quick, I ordered this months ago. And this is the Ross Chastain limited edition Martinsville 2022 Checkers or Wreckers. And I don't know how well you can see that with the light, but look, with the scratched up paint on the side from his Martinsville wall ride.
That's great.
I'm not taking this out of the box. This one's staying in the box. This is so cool. I got it. It showed up in the mail the other day. I got the thing that it shipped. It shows up and I pull it out. And I'm like, that turned out even better than I thought. This is so cool. So glad to have that. That's great, amazing moment in NASCAR history. And now I have it in 1/64 scale. Before we wrap real quick, let's we really want to talk about our GT3 experiences because I might need therapy. I might need to actually take this to a therapist. This has gone so poorly this year.
I think the succinct way to put it is we have 2 more races left, and
only one for me.
we are more than likely 99% going to be a NASCAR exclusive league moving forward.
That is correct. I don't think we're done with GT3, but I think we are done with GT3 on Wednesday night.
I think we are going to have a GT3 series somewhere, somehow.
There has been some great racing out there.
Yes.
This season. Where I'm disappointed in is there was not a lot of interest driver wise. We had some of our regulars that raced with us previously that said, you know what, I'm sitting this one out. When you're back in the ARCA cars, give me a call. I will be back. And that happened on at least 2 drivers. So this was our smallest field ever that we've done since we've started running this league. And I'm just not, I'm pretty terrible. Let's be honest. And I've only, I think, completed the full 45-minute race 2 out of 6 so far. I think tonight, however, or Wednesday night, I did my exit of the race after about 12 minutes, and I made a mistake in my house here where I let my kids into the room here while they're 5. I have 5-year-old twins. I've said that before. And a fist fight broke out about 3 feet from my my setup over here. And I'm trying to break up a fight while driving. And I wreck. And then one kid starts crying. One of them decides to bend their arm in an awkward angle. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw this. Park it. I go over, put on the dad hat, the dad hat, and what the hell is wrong with you kids? Oh, I didn't say that, but yeah, it was abandoned race due to needing to be doing parenting is my official reason for exiting the race tonight.
First one of those on the year.
I'd love to see some stats on how many people have have left races due to children incidents, and there have been some stories that have been shared on Reddit. So I think it's more common than it's a lot of dads in this and living their dream of that they never had, and now they've got the kids to distract them. You're lucky. You're not quite there yet. It's at least feeding is somewhat predictable. I mean, obviously you have the impromptu crying that you have to deal with and the diaper changes, but if you can put up with the smell of baby poop for about half an hour, make it through, you should be good.
Yeah, the smell I can do. I have a monitor that I watch from, so I can see what's going on there.
Oh man, I'm finished with it. On a side note, my kid, one of my kids, I have my, I can take it off here. So on the front of my PC case, I have a bunch of stickers here. And you got the racing sticker, got the Rogue Energy, save 10%, FR Racing Online. Got my Indy 500 entrance, got the Sim Magic, got the Ricky Bobby. And then at the bottom, I have this very obscure Orson Welles meme that says "Ah, the French," and it's a reference from a 1970s commercial that Orson Welles was doing, and he was drunk, which is like the last half of his life. Filmmaker Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, one of our greatest all-time filmmakers, unfortunately had a eating and drinking problem later in life. My kid comes over, looks down at that, and says, he asked if that was my mother. Yes, that looks like my mother. And I went from being upset at my kids for ruining my evening of racing and breaking up a fight to like on the floor laughing because my child said my mom looks like Orson Welles, older Orson Welles. And I sent that to my mom, and she accused me of coaching her to saying that. And I said, absolutely not. That was not me. I mean, yeah, that might be something I could have done, but not in this case. This was 100%. She just walks up and says, "Hey, that looks like Grandma Betty." Oh boy. And now that I've told this story, we'll find out if my mom actually listens or not, because
Sounds like you're gonna have a fun 4th of July if you see your if you go up to see your mom.
I haven't seen them in quite a while. Anyway, I know when she watches the stream, because I will occasionally make a random joke, because I know she does watch periodically, and I will randomly throw a random joke out there about her, or just to test if she's actually watching or not. And if I get the angry text message that says "you ass" or something like that, I know she's watching. There was a race a couple seasons ago. My brother kept crashing out, and I said, "Well, clearly mom taught you how to drive." And I got a "you ass" like text like 30 seconds later. And my phone's sitting here, and I just see the text pop up like, "Hey, thanks for watching, Mom." Anyway, on that note, I think it's time to wrap tonight. Gateway this weekend, Detroit, Spain, Formula One. Busy weekend of racing. Another busy weekend of racing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see the Detroit race.
I don't even know what the course looks like. I mean, I've seen the map, I've seen the layout of the course, but I've actually not seen any photos of the course itself. I have to assume it's set up by now.
Yeah, it's set up. The main feature of it will be going in front of the GM building right along the river.
Good shout out to Chevy right there.
Other than that, I haven't seen too much. If you're there,
I'll be
maybe afterwards can drive the course.
It's this weekend, right?
Yes,
it is this weekend. Yeah, they're not doing a 2-day race. This are they?
No, they stopped that a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's too bad.
Yeah, I mean the 2-day at Belle Isle was always fun, and then you had the GM executive wreck the pace car the one year, which was hilarious. And I always figured that if I would be trusted to drive a pace car, I would have done the same thing. But that bump though at Belle Isle, I don't blame him. That's tough.
It'll get you.
That is a tough. It's just like this patch of concrete that they had to like just kind of pave over, and if you're not careful, you'll lose it. You'll lose your back end coming around that turn. But.
So behind closed doors, Wednesday Night Dash are off this next week.
Week iRacing week 13.
So we got a couple weeks to prepare. We have, I think it's Auto Club coming up for BCD, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Rudskogen. I think it's Rudskogen. Something along those lines.
It's our first event outside of North America.
Exciting.
But we're going overseas. I just never expected that Norway would be our first race outside of the US. here we are. Track is free. And it's a lot of fun. It's a wonderful look. It's a beautiful course. We'll see how it goes.
It'll be exciting. Just like all the other GT3 races so far. It's going to be a great race up front, and then everyone else kind of.
It's going to be fun for 2 or 3 people. Everybody else is like, it's done.
I'll be hanging in the back, and I'll be like, you know what? You guys have fun at Daytona. I'm going on vacation. I'll see you after you get back.
There's a reason my Twitch says trying not to wreck or trying to stay on the track.
Fair enough. FR Racing Online. Oh, no, go for it.
44 tweets until 1,000. Kind of cool.
Yeah, and like I would say 96% of the tweets that have come on the page are from you.
Yeah, it's those live updates are kind of fun to do, especially when I don't have to drive like the GT3 cars. Oh, it's great. I love it.
You guys start joining us on BCD or
you need to get in the car. I know
you gotta get you in.
I know you said you were gonna shake your desk loose, clamping that wheel. Which
it's that and the brake pedals, they keep sliding. I put a piece of cardboard, and then every time I hit the brakes, it spins out sideways.
Yeah, I forgot. You have the modified pedals. Tell you, man, get that extreme sim racing rig or the wheel stand. Even the portable one's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna get it eventually, and when I get that, I'll be racing more.
This is an infomercial for extreme sim racing. So and the thing is, I'm so glad I got this hat when I did with the your Interlagos track map on the bill of the cap. So this thing like sold out like right after I bought it, and they haven't had it in stock since. I'm like, yeah, all right,
that's pretty cool.
So it's an awesome hat. I love this hat.
Hey, I think that's an idea for merch.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at them like, man, you can print stuff on the bill of the cap. That's awesome. But my snapback trucker hat here. So frracingonline.com, frracingonline.com/contest. Enter the contest. I have a signed diecast in my hand by a guy who won the Daytona 500, who doesn't look anything like that's photo anymore. But I want to give this to you. Sign up. Must be living in the continental United States. Otherwise, enter. Sign up. Follow us on social media. Get bonus entries. Do it. I want to give this away to somebody, please. I mean, we're giving it away. People have definitely signed up, but I want to make this interesting. Keep signing up. At Off Racing Online on all social media and streaming channels. Eric, you got any streaming plans this weekend?
I'll probably be jumping in IndyCars at Auto Club actually.
US Open Wheel.
Yeah.
US Open Wheel Class C. Yeah, Auto Club this week. I thought about doing that.
Yeah, I need to jump in. I'm still trying to get my first win there.
I almost caused a wreck the last time I did Auto Club in that car on the last lap. I was just milking it, trying to get it across the finish line before running out of fuel. And you were part of a 4-car battle for the win. And I'm like trying to get down as low as I can so I'm not ruining the racing. And I don't think I did. So yeah, that was weird. I had
one car moved just enough that kind of blocked off my run. I think I got second in that race.
Yeah, you
second
did finish. Third. Yeah, I think you were in the.
It was super close.
It was you can look it up. I still have it in my profile. Scroll last races. US Open Wheel Class C. I finished 11th. You actually finished 4th in that event. You were 47 hundredths of a second behind the winner. 4,500 hundredths of a second was 3rd place, and 5th place was 57 hundredths of a second. 6th place,
was crazy close.
Yeah, the top 6 were all 0.6 of a second or closer.
Wow.
And I got lapped right before the finish because I'm just like, don't run out of fuel, please. I had to like switch it over to like fuel saving mode, and I'm getting off the throttle way early, and I made it, but yeah, it was not fun. I did get 18 iRating points for that performance. Episode 46 is in the book. Thanks again for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.
Take care.